welcome to Frankie's First Foods, vlog number 3. I have two really good sources here. So this kind of seems to be the go-to source for baby-led weaning. This is by Jill Rapley and Tracy Marquette. Really, really informative. I've really enjoyed this read. I find them very helpful. Frankie wants to have a read right now. And kind of the go-to. So if you are looking into baby-led weaning, I do definitely suggest this source. My favorite and go-to for many years now has been Sprout Right. As you can see, it's a really loved book. I use it all the time. Sprout Right by Leanne Phillipson-Webb. Leanne Phillipson-Webb is a local nutritionist, kind of the nutritionist for pre-postnatal nutrition here in Toronto. Baby-led weaning is you're often giving the food from your plate, what you're eating, to your baby. So I would give some of the food that I'm having here to your baby and letting them share the experience with you. This is really good, and I totally encourage that a meal should be around the table, it should be shared, you should be eating at the same time, and it should be, the table should bring and unite the family. So starting those habits at an early age is wonderful, and baby-led weaning really does do this. Purees often, because the parent is spoon feeding the baby, they are often not eating at the same time. When going from just liquid milk, jumping to pieces of food, chunks of food, as the next step seems to be a little bit too much of a leap for me personally. I'm definitely more comfortable with going from something a little bit thicker and gradually going from there and building up, instead of that leap of going from liquid to chunks of food. Especially when they don't have teeth yet. Frankie doesn't have any teeth yet. There's less chance of her choking. And it does not mean that she's not learning to chew. She's still mouthing the food. She's still playing with the food. And I am, as she matures and gets used to food, I'm going to slowly be making the food thicker and thicker and thicker. And they're eating something off their plate. So for instance, I have a salad here that I often eat, edamame. It has about, honestly, not counting the dressing aside, it has about 7 different ingredients in it. This really makes it hard for reactions, which we discussed in the last vlog. If Frankie gets a reaction right now, if I give her a mouthful of this food, how will I know where it's coming from? In the dressing has, again, at least another 5 ingredients. So I do not like the baby-led weaning for that reason, in the sense that it's going to be a gong show when you are trying to figure out where the reactions are coming from, if you do have one. Often with the baby eating what you're having, I'm a little bit nervous about, because often adults don't make the best choices. Is there sugar in your marinade? Is there salt added to your food? These are all, sugar and salt are foods that the baby actually should never, nobody should really be consuming it, but especially a baby at 6 months old. My main goal, not only as a nutritionist, but as a new mother, when introducing foods to Frankie, is to introduce foods that she is ready for and able to digest properly without compromising her digestive system in any way. I feel that baby-led weaning makes it hard to do this and follow that method. Being that they're going to be eating things off of your plate, it often is the case that they're getting introduced to things a little bit prematurely. You want some more? I don't know if you've been noticing, but I'm trying to do a little bit of both baby-led weaning and puree together. Yes, I'm giving her only purees, but I love the style of baby-led weaning. I'm trying to eat at the same time as her, so that we are eating together and we're eating at the table. That it's a shared experience, just like baby-led weaning. I'm also putting food on a spoon and I'm leaving the spoon in front of her. I'm not putting it to her mouth. She then takes the spoon and feeds herself. So yes, I am making the food and I'm choosing the food for her, which is a little bit different than the baby-led weaning. But I am letting her take control. So if she was full or didn't want any more, she could refuse it and not take the spoon out of my hand. So thanks again for joining us at Frankie's First Foods. Stay tuned next time. We're going to be discussing why vegetables first and not rice or meat for that matter. Point why a lot of people decide whether to do a little bit more homework when it came to the babies and gets used to food. I'm going to slowly be trying to kind of incorporate two, but if I did have some choices for her, a little bit different than the baby-led weaning. Also, I don't think that they're digestive. Really, really informative. I've really he matures and gets used to food. I'm going to slowly at what age?